good to surround yourself with good people.
Right?
That laugh at your shitty jokes.
I laugh at you all the time. You don't even have to be telling jokes.
So her and my wife were roommates in college.
Yeah.
He said, how long have you known Bobby? And I was like,
Too
well,
long?
I met him through his wife, actually.
That's true.
Yeah.
Want to watch a lawyer squirm? Do's and don'ts. Springs publicly ask legal advice questions on experts in their field. Welcome back to yet another episode of Do's and Don'ts, where GRL Springs publicly asks legal questions on experts in their field. And it's fun because, well, you don't know what's coming. And again, welcome back, Jill Zwagerman.
I'm so happy that I didn't mess up the first time so much that you wanted me to come back.
Or we didn't have any other options.
Oh, shoot. You know, I will take that. I will take that title as well.
You know what, though? You did a phenomenal job. You made it through the first one.
Did you have requests?
Yes.
People wanted me back?
We had requests, and they said, you have to bring that Jill gal back. She knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
She cusses.
Oh, yeah.
And
shoot.
It's
about
GRL
that.
raw. No. You want that ass? I mean, these are things that, like, it gives it a little bit of texture to the episode.
Yep.
So we appreciate that.
Yep.
But we've elevated the game.
Oh, no.
With this this one. Are you ready for this one?
I don't believe I am.
Too bad.
Okay.
We're on air, and we're gonna dive straight into this one. There's no other way to do it. So this one comes from Florida. And if you ever follow stupid news, it always comes from Florida.
That checks out, maybe, I guess.
No, not maybe.
Maybe.
100%. 100%. Have you been to Florida? You've been to Florida.
It's been a few years.
I go to Florida
I will
every
defer
year.
to you on this
Every
one.
year for roller hockey, we go to Tampa, Florida. And I'm not a fan.
Okay. Maybe you just need to visit a different part of Florida. Maybe that part is better.
I'll try that.
Okay.
I'll try that.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. The title. Blind furry sexually harassing me at work. I cannot make this up. Google it. It's on Reddit. Are you ready? Okay, hold on. Hold your comments, please. I'm going to paraphrase this the best I can.
I am super open and receptive to what you're telling me right now.
I knew you would be. Mm-hmm. I'm 18 years old, and I work part-time at a coffee place of commercial nature in Florida. I'm a girl, and I just finished losing a considerable amount of weight, and I'm receiving attention for the first time in my life, and I'm not really used to dealing with it. Mm-hmm. I do know that the way I'm being treated now is very screwed up, but I'm not sure how to handle it.
Okay.
Moving forward.
All of this sounds like a great time to consult with someone.
Yes.
Right?
The setup.
So far, everything's good.
Consult.
Yep.
There's a man who started coming in every day, who I've interacted every shift of mine for the last month.
So he's a customer.
Yes.
Okay.
He is at least in his mid-20s and comes in wearing a tail and making furry jokes very often. He is somehow visually impaired, and he brings in his service animal to guide him, and he makes sexually charged and inappropriate jokes every time I've interacted with him. The worst example I can think of is him ordering a pupachino that we offer and letting his dog start to lick it and then holding it back to me. There's an inappropriate comment that follows that says, for the two favorite bitches in my life.
Oh, no.
With a giant smile on his face before licking the top himself.
Oh.
He has pulled up inappropriate drawings on his phone and asked me if I like doggy style. Fast forward, my manager generally isn't someone who is easy to get along with. And when I approached him with this, he essentially hand-waved away my complaints and told me that he couldn't do anything and that dealing with this was part of the job.
No.
But he can't do much because the guy is disabled.
No.
Have we wound up the Jill?
Oh, for the crying in want her case. I want her case. This is ridiculous.
Oh, this is 6 years ago.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, where do we start?
Well, statute of limitations is run. That's the other thing. Real quick,
Please.
Super short statute of limitations on employment discrimination.
What is it?
300 days
From
the last date of something that happened to you. So if you
the pupachino incident.
So if there's a pupachino incident and then he says something about doggy style, like whatever the last comment is, it would be 300 days.
Only not 2 years.
Not 2 years. 300 days.
So we're limited
Super
time
short.
frame.
Very limited. Very limited.
Don't think about it.
And that's only Iowa. Like different states have different rules.
Okay.
Sometimes they're only 180 days.
So we're on a shortened time frame. Get after it. If you're getting pupachinoed,
Yeah.
you need to act fast. Act fast. Can we go with that?
Act very fast.
Okay.
What the hell?
Well, question.
Okay.
I'm going to defend the Bucks of the Starbucks. That was the coffee shop in this incident. It's not an employer that's making the inappropriate comments. Does that matter?
Absolutely.
How so?
So the employer has a obligation to have a workplace that is free of harassment or sexual harassment or discrimination or retaliation. And so that doesn't mean that customers can come in, that vendors can come in, that, the boss's wife can come in.
Okay, because that was other questions I've seen is my boss's husband is inappropriate jerk.
Yeah, you can't do that. You have to provide a workplace free of harassment and discrimination.
Okay.
So if someone else comes into your place of business and decides to, take pupachino then you are responsible for that as the employer. And you can't just say, oh, he's blind, so he can't, so he can say doggy style. Like, that's not a thing.
I'm not laughing, but
it's not a thing.
Okay, so first of all, inquiring minds want to know, is being a furry considered a protected class?
Not that I am aware of.
So can you explain what a protected class is?
So there is a definition under the law. The Iowa Civil Rights Act actually defines the protected classes, right? Furry is not in there.
What is?
Race, gender, age, national origin, sexual orientation, whether you're transgender, right? All of those things, but that does not include I identify as a animal. Doesn't include that.
It couldn't fit in like sexual orientation if somebody's like, this is my thing?
No, because just because you dress and you put a tail on doesn't that's not a there's no laws in Iowa that I'm aware of that protect that sort of status.
Okay. So that's good to answer. Blind?
Blind, absolutely. That would be disability, which I didn't mention, but that is absolutely something in there. But just because you're disabled doesn't mean you get to say, let's do it doggy style. Like, that's not a thing.
You still, even if you're disabled, you still have to follow and comply with not being a sexual harasser.
Yes.
There's no sexual harassment pass because of your disability.
I say that with a little hesitation.
Okay, yes.
Because there are ministerial exceptions where there are cases out there where if you're a minister, you can absolutely go right ahead and sexually harass people.
Hold up. Okay. Because I am a ordained minister.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this or not.
Right.
I have a T-shirt that says minister.
Please don't sexually harass people.
I won't.
Okay.
I can agree to that.
Yeah.
But how is there a ministerial exception to sexual harassment? Because it seems like there may or may not have been a certain scandal in a certain religion that was very sexual in nature that was in no way sanctioned. And in fact, they had to pay at the wazoo. So help me understand that.
So it's sort of an area of the law right now that is being explored, and there's cases all over the country that are kind of on both sides of this.
Okay, I think I see where this goes.
Yeah.
So we can agree that sexual abuse there's no ministerial exception to sexual abuse.
Not that I'm aware of for sexual abuse.
I'll just go there. I'll say it. I don't even know if
Yeah.
it's true, but I'm going to say that.
Yep.
But I'm assuming it relates more towards gender and sexual orientation.
So there's actually just, I think it's out of Nebraska. I could be wrong on that, but there's a case where a minister was being sexually harassed. The court dismissed the case and said it's part of the First Amendment right of the religious entity to run their business how they want, and so it's almost like a free pass. I'm not in favor of this ministerial exception and how it's being applied right now because I don't quite understand it, and I don't feel like anyone should be sexually harassed.
I would 100% agree. I will say that this may be one we're gonna have to follow up with a few of these because I know from my upbringing as the son of a preacher man that
Your name's not Billy Ray, is it?
Bobby Ray.
Bobby Ray.
But there are issues, particularly religious beliefs related to the place of a woman, sexual orientation, all that stuff, and that's a whole different level that we can dive into at another time when we have like 20 more beers ready to go.
Right.
So if we're looking,
It's really hard. That's a really hard area.
super hard because that's a First Amendment versus there's all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
So if we're looking at this and saying blind furry sexual harassing me at work, if we're gonna break this down into do's and don'ts.
Don't look at the fact that they're blind. Don't look at the fact that they're a furry. Look at the fact if is there sexual harassment? Like that's what we care about.
Okay, so the fact that this individual, regardless of how they identify or what disabilities they have, is making a sexually charged statement and is making the workplace hostile, then if you're the employer or if you're the supervisor that clearly didn't pay attention in the HR meeting, what should that employer, the supervisor, do?
I'm sorry, I'm not following your question.
Okay, so we have the harassing person,
Yeah.
customer.
Yep.
Customer's always right.
Yep.
Except this time, customer's
And
wrong.
there's lots and lots of law out there that says your customers can't harass your employees.
Okay, so what should the manager be doing in this situation?
So the manager needs to talk to the customer and tell them, like, look, you're making my employee feel uncomfortable. And if this continues, we're not going to allow you in here anymore.
And then we kick the furry out.
And then you kick the furry out. And the furry might think that they have rights, but as long as it's been like clearly established that you are making her uncomfortable and you can't say pupachino and you can't ask her to lick your coffee cup and you can't say like doggies, like all of those things cross a very, very clear line in our society that I don't have to do that and you don't get to ask me that.
So do protect your employees.
So protect your employees.
Protect your people.
Yep.
And don't allow customers to make it uncomfortable.
Right, whether they have tails or not.
There's no tail pass.
There's no tail pass. There's no blind pass for sexual harassment. There are accommodations that you have to give to people with disabilities. Allowing them to sexually harass your employees is not one of them.
We're going to end on that. Cheers. Thanks for playing along, Joe. We're going to have you back. Thank you.